It's pretty obvious that there hasn't been a lot of third-person shooters on the 3DS in some time. I mean, the last game to successfully pull off being a third-person shooter was Kid Icarus Uprising, and that released in 2012. Well, now a three-man team called VD Dev has developed a new game in the shooter genre entitled IronFALL Invasion. But just how does it play on the 3DS? To be honest, not that well. Let's start off with the bare-bones plot, shall we? You're a man or a woman in some sort of exosuit trying to stop an alien invasion, and that's as deep as the plot ever goes. Character development is minimal and the writing is passable to say the least. What really tops off this mediocre storytelling is the voice acting, which is, well, take a listen.
We're out of options anyway. No Fleming, no EX-16 armor.
Haha, very funny.
If you couldn't tell, the performance is laughably bad. It sounds like no emotion or emphasis is put into any of the lines. I'm not saying I would do any better, but it's almost pathetic that the voice acting is that bad. And look, I know the game is developed by only 3 people, but that doesn't exempt it from criticism. If I do have to applaud the story, I guess I liked, in a way, how it didn't take itself too seriously, or have a huge focus on the story and end up failing. It's still not very good, but at least you can get from gameplay segment to gameplay segment fairly quickly. That is, if you even like the gameplay, and to some degree I do. On the new 3DS it's pretty solid, but my only complaint with it would be how slow it is to aim the targeting reticle. Despite that, I primarily played IronFALL Invasion on my regular 3DS, and let me just tell you, it was horrid. After only 1 hour of play, I began to experience severe hand cramping. See, you have to hold the 3DS in such a way where your left hand is holding the system, moving the circle pad and shooting with the L button, while you move the reticle using the stylus on the touchscreen. I can imagine this would be an immediate turnoff for a lot of people if they had to play this way for too long. A big reason why this review has taken so long to go up is because of my issues with the controls since I had to record gameplay off the original 3DS. Plus, the gameplay can be downright frustrating at times. Like I said earlier, moving the reticle is slow, making it hard to aim a lot of the time, which presents a huge problem in a game all about shooting enemies before they shoot you. However, there's something somewhat satisfying about taking cover and destroying enemies. Sure, there's not a lot of challenge, but when you get past the control issues, the combat can be kind of fun. As for the other aspects of the gameplay, they're nowhere near fun. At some points, you'll be given puzzles to solve that are used to break up the action. These are so meticulous and easy, it makes a lot of the levels worse. What could have been a fun romp through a mission blowing up robots turns into a slow crawl to the end goal. If you took these sections out, I guarantee you I would be a lot more optimistic about the gameplay. In a shooter game, you kind of expect to be shooting things a lot, but most of the gameplay is devoted to these puzzles, or just aimlessly running around looking for objects or people you don't care about. There is one thing that is pretty great about IronFALL Invasion though, and that's the multiplayer. I've always had a soft spot for competitive multiplayer, so the fact that it's present here is delightful. The multiplayer is nice, and the variety of the 6 arenas is pretty exceptional, and from my experience I receive little to no lag. On the new 3DS, and I specify the new 3DS, shooting different players and tracking down others can be pretty enjoyable, but once again the same can't be said for the game's presentation. The art style is similar to that of Monster Hunter, but everything seems a lot more dull. It looks a bit too drab and gray for my liking. I know you can argue that the bleak graphics add to the atmosphere, but there is virtually no atmosphere here. No tone is really established, so I don't know what to feel. The world around me feels dark and sad, but everything else feels upbeat. It's this inconsistency that causes the visuals to suffer. All in all, IronFALL Invasion is a mixed bag for me. On one hand, I really like the multiplayer and the controls on the new 3DS aren't terrible, but on the other hand, there are so many problems with the gameplay, the story, and the presentation that the quality of the game suffers for it. IronFALL Invasion as a whole just isn't that great, and I haven't even mentioned my biggest problem with the experience. It's cost. I would not recommend you buy this game for $18 or $10 for the multiplayer and $10 for the single player. Wait until a sale or a price drop occurs to get the game if it interests you. Not even the multiplayer is worth $10 in my opinion. If I had to give the game a rating, I would give it a 5 out of 10. But if you disagree or agree with me, let me know in the comments below. And if you truly enjoyed the game, let me know what you enjoyed about it, because I really can't think of much I enjoyed. And as always, thank you so much for watching and take care. Have a wonderful day and goodbye.